folks. It's Al Mega, your boy with usual suspects of Dave, Elliott, and Chris Buse. Welcome to an ICC, and a very different ICC. What's going on, muchachos?
Heidi Ho is great. Heidi Ho is super. We should always start with Heidi Ho.
Heidi Ho. All right.
Heidi Ho.
Heidi Ho. We are here for a new format. We're trying out a new format. Dave's idea. Dave, let us know, let our viewers know what it is.
Before we go there, real quick, before you say that, Heidi Ho is something maybe you don't want to say on certain strips in New York or Las Vegas, you know?
Ooh, thank you for the information. I get all kinds of great information. Dave schooled me on geographics in New York. Thank you, Dave. Worked that into the book.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Dave. Break it down, Cheech.
So it's not so much a new format for the show. Like, we're still going to go on for hours and hours on end on some of our podcasts. But we just thought that once in a while, I think what might be nice is to just do something that's a little bit more digestible. Something that, like today is a good example. Like, Warner Brothers dropped a bunch of teasers and trailers and things and just like, okay, we're going to give you the International Comic Crusaders hot take, whatever. So yeah, just keep it short and sweet. There's some other things we're going to talk about, like one of our later ones, like I was talking to Chris before we came on air, just about, he's just written a novel. He's writing his second novel now. And I just thought, okay, well, I'm illustrating now a graphic novel I recently wrote. So it's like, let's just have a little creative conversation about
very nice
inspirations, where we pull from, stuff like that. So,
yeah, man.
Lots of little stuff like that. And again, history is, if there's anything out there, you guys are going like, you've got to take maybe, anything, any particular point in history you think, hey, I was always curious about this. If we don't know, we can probably find out.
Definitely, and dive in. We have a little archive, and of course, the internet itself has so much beautiful information.
Yeah,
there's also a great number of misconceptions out there we want to talk about. So if you want to submit, great, submit. But we will also pick a few topics. And a little topic we would probably run on comic misconceptions, because there's so many wrong-headed ideas out there about people who heard something on the internet and heard it from a third guy, heard from a fourth guy, and say, oh yeah, we heard about this creator who did this thing. And very often it's not true, because you have to go back to the source. I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions about also the creation of these characters, how they came about. And we will do a little segment on that, I think.
Excellent.
Yeah, because often there's a lot of times where you see Twitter threads where everyone's like trashing a writer or an artist or something, and for a choice that they made, and going like, well, there's also a very good chance that was an editorial decision.
Of course,
absolutely.
They were asked to do things a certain way. So often it's just like how so many other things in life, you don't shoot the messenger.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Actually, it's a good idea we should do that as a podcast. Don't shoot
except if you're into
particularly.
Okay. So this is what we will do. So we will have the 2-hour long conversation, but now and then we will also feed you 20 minutes while you drive from A to B. I don't know. You need to get some ice cream at your local supermarket on a Sunday. Don't I know how that works? And 20 minutes is the thing.
So let's do it. Boom.
Yep.
They ask us anything. Wepa. Right there, 20, 30 segments.
Today we want to talk about a few trailers, a trailer, singular, and two, shall we call them not teasers?
Yeah, they are teasers.
With this one. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. By the way, this is sanctioned by WB, who sent this to L this morning. So all the images you see now, we didn't take them from the internet. WB contacted Comic Crusaders. We are partners of WB.
Awesome.
Well, that may be a little extreme, but we are.
We're friends. We're friends.
We're all
bros.
We're bros.
Yes. Yeah. However, our opinions are not influenced in any shape or form, as you would probably guess from my response to this
Oh God,
teaser.
I'm curious, bro. What happened? Because this one,
I
I loved it. But what did you think?
I hated it, but I didn't hate it as
Why?
much as the Flash. The Flash one, because it looked shitty generic. It looked absolutely generic and boring. I didn't see the first Shazam. Maybe I'm not in the mood for that, but it looked incredibly generic and it reminded me very much of the opening of Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy, where Star-Lord gets that thing, which also was stolen from Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's boring. It looked boring. It looked boring.
Really? Wow.
Well,
Yeah. You loved it?
I mean,
Okay.
No, I mean, I can't say I saw enough to say I liked it. It's one of those things where I think with the Rock's just like Dwayne Johnson's just not going to. If this was going to be in the same tone as Shazam, I doubt very much he'd be doing it. And which is going to be odd. I think that because I know at some point they're bound to have a crossover between the two. They've got to meet at some point. So I mean, so Shazam was like a, it was okay. It was a, feel good sort of family type of movie sort of thing. Very different from the Zack Snyder universe type stuff we've been seeing.
To be honest, that's one of my favorite of the DCs.
Yeah, and it was like it was fun. And Black Adam doesn't look like it's going to fit in that style, and so it's going to be interesting how when they do meet, what tonally that will be. So I'm curious as to how Black Adam will finally appear, because again, I mean, what we've seen so far, it's like, I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying in the teaser they've shown, because probably everyone here who's watching has seen it. Yeah. He grabs someone and turns them and literally burns them into a skeleton. So it's a little dark.
Yes.
But at the other hand, I don't think they will go with The Rock as the villain. The guy he burned obviously deserved it, and he's going to liberate this country, and he will be the nice guy at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's going to, you watch. It will be, I think they will do with Black Adam what they've done with Harlequin, which is, she's no longer a villain. She's kind of an anti-hero. Black Adam, like, first gut reaction is Superman as the Punisher.
I like
so
that.
That's kind of what I'm doing.
That's a good high concept. I like that, actually.
Yeah. See, but I'm digging it. I like that. I like villains, as you guys know. I appreciate Black Adam. He is on that anti-hero journey because, again, if you read the runs in JSA and all, I mean, he's been here and there, So,
and I must say,
I think the Rock could pull this off. Just as in this teaser, it got me excited, and I think they're excited here. When they're like Black Adam, I thought it would never happen. Yeah,
it's true.
And we're seeing it, and I'm digging it. And if it's opposite of Shazam, great, because Black Adam isn't Mr. Nice Guy like a Shazam. Yeah. Shazam's still a kid. So when they meet, I think Shazam will have enough experience where it's going to be a little bit more mature.
But I think that could be fun. Like seeing those two extremes coming together. And I think that was always, that's what I always liked about Captain Marvel, that I kind of, or Shazam. But that's what I always liked about Captain Marvel, is that he was innocent. He was more innocent.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, what I really loved, and maybe they're going with this. I'm not sure, but from the images I've seen, maybe they're going with this. The Black Adam storyline in the New 52, not the New 52, in the 52, the miniseries was excellent. I think Jeff Jones wrote that.
The one with
where he was, yes, and he was more or less the good guy. He tried to do the right thing, and then ISIS was killed, and he felt lost, and that turned him. He was already on the brink, and then she kept him, and then he turned bad. I really liked that story. There was tragedy in that. He really felt his loss. That was a great story. He was happy, and then was snatched away from him. That would be a great story.
They did wonderful things with Black Adam during that time, though, and it's true. I wish they would use that material. That was really good stuff, and it's perfect for the movies. You're right. I like it.
So I was not wowed by the trailer, but I kind of like The Rock. He's very charismatic. I mean, obviously, everybody says that, and I'm interested in, and I like stories about villains, and maybe I give this a shot. I'm not so sure, but I might.
But the thing is, he's also like as dark as that little like 30-second clip we saw, as dark as that seemed. I think that the other side is Dwayne Johnson he's very good with comedy.
That's true, absolutely.
So I think that there's like, are we going to see him sort of almost being sort of, shall we say, Terminator? It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger had a few one-liners in Terminator that actually made you laugh. So I think maybe Dwayne Johnson's going to give us sort of some black humor in this, some dark humor where we'll laugh against our better instincts.
And again, I hope it's not silly like the the Harley. It's just fun, straightforward humor with a straight face type joint.
I mean, he's very much a Namor character. You could do a lot with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be nice. I think that maybe what we'll see more of, I think this is probably down to Warner Brothers not having the consistency that Marvel has. They don't have the vision. They tend to give that vision over to the creative people working on the film.
That's right.
So they don't actually have a vision themselves, which might be a good thing in this case. So, the idea of Black Adam being its own thing, and when he meets with Shazam, it will have to be the two films or the character. It will have to sort of somehow create the right balance for for both, so that both characters come off in their correct light.
No, let's see. We're gonna find out on the 29th of July in 2022. So get ready, folks. It's gonna be an awesome ride.
Probably see a full trailer before that, of course.
Oh yeah, definitely. Then we'll talk about it, really briefly again, and see if Chris, got antsy for it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm absolutely open to have my mind changed. I mean, absolutely.
Let's see. I want to see what he. Oh God, if he wasn't, you weren't turned by this. But now we have a full trailer that we got to see on this movie. And look at this gorgeous logo.
Okay, you want to do that first? Okay, absolutely loved it. There is not one thing I didn't love about this trailer. Absolutely. This is the first time I really say, yeah, that's the Batman. Because my problem was always, if I go back to the excellent the Dark Knight, the Christopher Nolan movie. I was watching that movie the first time. I said, okay, the movie is great if you take Batman out of it, because Batman looked like an alien. He couldn't move his head properly. This interrogation scene was the Joker very nimble, very very flexible, and you had this Batman in this big rubber suit, and he looked like an alien. He looked like a bug-eyed creature. I thought it was ridiculous. And I always thought that Christian Bale did a very, very good Bruce Wayne. He had that down to a T, but not a good Batman. And it was in part due to the suit. And he couldn't move properly, couldn't fight. They tried to rectify it in the Dark Knight Rises, where he saw, it's Bane fighting. This trailer has action. Batman moves. He's not as bulky as the Ben Affleck Batman, which I thought was a little bit over the top. This is a younger Batman. He's lean. I like that. He's a little bit unsure of himself, and he's very angry. I like that. I really like that. I like that portrait. And I find it so funny now when you go on various sites. Oh, Patterson is so perfect as Batman. Yeah, now you're talking.
Oh, now, right before everybody hit. See, I said, let's give him a chance. Okay, I think he's going to make a great Bruce Wayne. I thought that, and not to see them in action, pretty cool. But what do you think of the logo, guys, for the film?
Oh, perfect. The score is great. Everything.
Well, again,
I
think the logo is like, we all know that, like, see, the thing is, we all know that it's Batman. So we look at that logo and we can read Batman.
Mm-hmm.
If now
it's the Batman.
with my editor's hat on, if this was if this was a brand new film and you were going to presume that no one knew who Batman was, then that logo, that bat in the logo, would have to be less prominent, because you can't actually read it as Batman.
That's true. That is true.
So on a design level, I understand why they did it. It looks good. We can all read it as Batman. However, it doesn't actually read.
What do you think of the cowl? What do you think of the cowl?
That is true.
Yeah.
Look good. Everything looks good. I mean, absolutely, I agree with Dave on that one. That's true. The logo is a little,
It looks a little bit more like a realistic Batman. Like, I love the Batmobile in this. The fact that it's not a giant tank or anything. It's this, souped up. It's just a souped up car.
Yeah.
And what about this huge change that from what we're familiar with?
I mean, we don't know if this will be the final look of the Riddler. This is just one, because what we noticed in the trailer, we never saw his face. So this is as far as Matt Reeves is willing to reveal his look, but he's going to look very different, of course. I think this is just the first look.
I seen the toy, and the toy, that McFarlane's releasing. Actually, I've gotten a look at it, and the figure looks. It's not Riddlerish. I would never think he looks Riddlerish.
Okay, we will see. But they nailed the Penguin. I have to give him that. He's not over the top Penguin. He's very interesting. He's very menacing.
Yeah, it's very interesting that what they did with Collins basically wearing that fat
prosthetics.
Suit. You look at the photo, you just can't see him. You just can't see him in it. Like, you just can't see him underneath the suit.
And he's channeling a bit Robert De Niro, of course. It's very Robert De Niro in his performance. Got you, nailed you. That was very Robert De Niro. And then the last shot of the Batman walking towards his car with the boots, that was very Mad Max, I thought.
But see, the thing I like about this, the Bruce Wayne that I think we're seeing now, again, I only having not seen any more than we've seen little clips and bits and pieces. We don't see the whole. We haven't seen how he is generally. But the thing I like about this is a very troubled Bruce Wayne. Like,
you could see it in his face here, right? You could tell in his face right there. Like, okay, this is not the confident Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he hasn't decided to This is about it's almost as though he hasn't quite decided yet if he's going to be the playboy Bruce Wayne in public. It's like that's some conscious thought there that he hasn't had yet.
I think he seems more comfortable in the batsuit, actually. Hiding his face. And let's address also to Twitter comments. Our friend Doc Strange, Billy was not wowed by this. Billy, if you're watching, let us have your comment. Why didn't you like this? And Pete wrote in to say, where's the chemistry between Catwoman and Batman? Actually, I like Zoe Kravitz.
So let's
liked her.
She goes, and then goes Zoe as Selena, and one of the things that she definitely made a point of that Bobo brought up in yesterday's Yeah Now episode that she pointed out: do not objectify Catwoman. It's not about sexiness, this, that, the other. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but
it's difficult to say that. It's difficult to say that because she's beautiful. So
yeah.
And she's also very sexy in that. I mean, this is just the talking points. I mean, you have to get everybody on board, and but it's also, I mean, these comments. Oh, Catwoman is not black. Have you ever watched the Adam West Batman show? You're 60 years too late with that comment.
You know what I'm saying?
Kid made a fantastic Catwoman. Get educated, morons. And why not have Catwoman black? I mean, it's just. Think about it. I mean, this is. I was watching an interesting clip about the Ultimates the other day, and just imagine they were starting with the characters fresh. This is more or less not an origin story. This is year one. Were you to create Batman today, you would make Catwoman black. I'm absolutely convinced of it.
Yeah.
This is something that was created in the 30s when the guys who performed in the cop club had to use the back door. I mean, this is just a different time, and you have these characters. And why not have a black Jim Gordon? I like Jeffrey Wright. He's a great actor. I like him.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then by that means that you can actually then have a black Batgirl as well. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And you also have a much buffer Alfred, which I also liked actually. This is going a little bit with the year one approach from Jeff Jones and Gary Frank from the year back, few years back. He's a much
Oh,
buffer
the
Alfred.
Earth one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, was the first one? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Alfred
Actually,
definitely much healthier and someone believable enough that could help, really help Bruce, not that frail old man, you know?
exactly. And you can probably reckon he's throws a punch or two if need be. I mean, why not? Why not? Go for it. And actually, I like the tone. It's very Seven. We saw that already from the teaser. Was it a year ago from the teaser? It's very Seven. It's very influenced by Seven, by David Fincher's Seven. But I like this look. It's a dark look. It doesn't have this gothic look from Tim Burton, which I thought was over the top. It was okay for the time, but this is more grounded. But it's also not as stiff and boring as the Nolan look, because it felt very cold. Nolan has a very cold aesthetic. This doesn't look cold.
Well, I think you go back to the Tim Burton one, and I think it was there was a like I thought that the first Batman film, while enjoyable, was camp.
Oh, definitely camp.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, definitely.
And it seemed to have very much. It was basically making a dark version of the Adam West TV show rather than making the comics. Doing the comics. So that's where it was taking its source material from. And I always felt that everything since then has just they're more making darker versions of the films than actually paying too much attention to the comic books.
Absolutely.
However, it's interesting though. Like I mean, we only saw a couple of like literally seconds of Batman and Catwoman together, but she seeed to be very much in control of the dynamic in those.
Which is also true to the comics actually. Even if you go back to the 1940s, Catwoman is the more dominant one. She is more the predatory type. She's more aggressive. And he's I'm not so sure about this. And yeah,
that's the only woman that makes him feel massively weak.
yeah, absolutely. Yes, it should be.
That's his
and yeah, but you can also tell that I think, I mean, it just was a clip of, I don't know how, 2 minutes, but she was in it for like 30 seconds, 20 seconds. I thought the two had good chemistry. I mean, you have to see the movie, you have to see them together, but there was chemistry between those two. I really I mean, they're incredibly attractive people. Why wouldn't there be any chemistry between them?
Yep. And I agree with Dave too on that Batmobile. Holy shit, that's a Batmobile, son. And then also I'm sorry, I also want to say, just going back to the Tim Burton stuff. If you guys saw the Flash, trailer, obviously they're making that Tim Burton verse canon, because we know what car that was under that tarp.
Of course. But this car is very much the Neil muscle car. That's from the 70s. Yeah. That's more from the realistic period. And this is what they're going for. You even saw his cape sticking out of the window, more or less, because that would happen. I mean, this is where do you put that blasted cape? I mean, that is perfect. Why not?
Yeah, it reminds me of the card. It looks like, I don't know if you've seen the Francesco Francavilla art when he was doing like a 70s Batman a couple years ago. That's kind of like the same Batmobile idea that he had that I see in the film, which obviously translated 100.
Yeah.
Oh, you did a great run on Detective Comics with Scott Schneider. Very good one. Yeah. Unfortunately, cut short by the new 52.
Yeah, but I think as far as the Flash trailer or Flash teaser, whatever it is.
Teaser.
Yeah, it's. I think that it's funny. You're particularly having seen the What If series on Disney Plus, the Marvel series. They're both exploring their multiverses right now, and it's very much in sync with another. And I think that for Warner Brothers, it's a great way of saying, yes, the Snyder Cut exists. It's but it's its own universe, and everything now. There's an Adam West universe probably. There's each one has their own universes, and the fact that that's the thing that they tease in the Flash. The Flash can go from universe to universe.
I think that makes total sense, because Warner Brothers, for the time being, tries to go with director-driven movies, and so everybody will bring his or her own style to the movies. Versus with Marvel, unfortunately, we always see this. It's more or less homogeneous, getting more and more homogeneous every time. It needs to tie in. You need to have this, and that, and you have to check this box. Versus DC movies, you seem to have a little bit more free reign. It seems like Matt Reeves, do your Batman. That was the pitch. Do your Batman.
Yeah, but I think that's. I mean, it's that thing that where what Marvel does is Marvel always, it's always pleasing. Usually, it's like, oh, that was fun. That was really good. I like that.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
yeah, hit some right spots. Yeah, great. Whereas DC is sometimes it can be great, fantastic. Sometimes it can be very disappointing. And
that's absolutely true.
Because there's no, and I think that's from like having that grip that you don't, because I think as a company, Warner Brothers has changed hands so many times, and they've changed heads so many times. No one seems to have a firm grasp, and
that's absolutely true.
Even care, shall we say? They value the IP for the revenue it brings in, but they don't value the IP for what it is.
Absolutely. And I think that's also, before everybody thinks, oh, we're ragging on Marvel. It's not true. Go back 2 years, we talked about Endgame, and Endgame is really, the point I wanted to make was, when Marvel leaves this formula and tries to do a little bit something different, then they absolutely knock it out of the park. Endgame is absolutely still my favorite, maybe not, but it's very high up with my MCU movies, because it really moves away from the formula. It's dark, it's gritty, it's human. You feel the loss on the characters. That is not the funny joke Marvel movie.
No, but what you fail to miss is that that's exactly what it was building towards.
Exactly, absolutely.
And it's like, and my comments about Black Adam is, yes, with someone like The Rock playing Black Adam, you've got someone who could be dark, serious, but also funny. And
you have to build to something. You have to earn it.
Yeah, so he's someone who I think, at least for that movie, could bring to it the same thing that Robert Downey Jr. brought to Iron Man, which was he could be serious. I mean, there was a point in, I think was it the second movie, where they touched on the fact that he drank too much, but they didn't quite take it full-blown alcoholic. They didn't do the demon in the bottle, but they kind of definitely nodded and said, look, Tony's obviously had a problem with drink, and he's going to kick it. And he got over that. But he could have the dark, and obviously he did it in the end when he sacrificed his life. But, sorry, I should have said spoiler. But you know what I mean? It's but it's so again, it could be fun.
What I don't like about I liked the Flash trailer enough. Don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash, and I really liked the new Tom Holland Spider-Man trailer with Doctor Strange in there. But what I don't like about these two characters, the way they are treated by Marvel and respectively by DC, is they make them idiots, and I don't really like that. Peter Parker is not an idiot. Also, the Flash is not an idiot, but both characters come across as idiots. I think that's the studio saying, oh, we need these characters to be relatable. This is how the studio views its audience. Oh, they're all idiots. No, these characters are intelligent. They make intelligent decisions. They don't joke around the whole time. Don't make these, only because they're comic book characters, you don't need to have them joke all the time. Comic book doesn't mean jokes all the time.
Yes.
Well, I think that with DC and the Flash, and with this iteration of the Flash, they're trying to make him as though he's a teenager, like that he's acting like a teenager, but he works for the police department. But he's
doesn't. I mean, and one day he's a dog walker, and the next day he works for the police department. All of that makes total sense. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's also. Peter Parker is supposed to be this genius, and then he cannot stop talking. I mean, he cannot stop talking when he's Spider-Man, but as Peter Parker, he should make some intelligent decisions.
Agreed. So, all right, guys, we're hitting the 30-minute mark. So before we
Okay.
go, was there any DC fandom announcements that you did get excited about?
Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was. I don't think I rolled my eyes at anything. As I said, I am curious. I think, as somebody's already pointed out on the thread, that we thought we'd never reach Black Adam, and here we are.
That's right.
So I do look forward to it. The Batman trailer looked. It's looking cool, and it's and I'm wondering about the tone of the Flash movie and how they're going to play Michael Keaton as Batman.
Absolutely.
Again, that could be fun. It could be fun.
Absolutely.
I'm not. Yeah. It's not going to be on the level of this groundbreaking Batman movie, but it'll be fun. It'll be probably more in tone, closer in tone with Shazam than Dark Knight. So
I could also. I said I didn't like Ezra Miller in the role as a Flash, but I can see him play off very well off a gruffer Michael Keaton. He's not the Michael Keaton from the old Batman '89 anymore. He's gruffer. The actor is gruffer, and I like him. And he's really menacing. He's menacing. We saw that, and I like this. I like that. There's a good dynamic. I can see that work well.
Yeah, it's old man Bruce they're messing with now.
Yeah, I mean, if Ezra Klein in this movie was playing a young Terry McGillis and he ends up being Batman Beyond, that might have been some fun shit right there. But hey, but
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. My fun announcements were the milestone stuff where they're talking about an animated, movie where we're gonna see all the characters and Blood Syndicate coming back. So cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, they're going to do the live action. They are still. They said that
the static shot
is in development as a live action.
Michael B. Jordan is executive producing that bad boy.
They should do that. They should do that. Absolutely.
So that made me happy to see that. They're also going to do their first CGI animation. So hopefully let's see how that goes. Did you guys catch a glimpse of that CGI?
Yeah.
Animation. No. All right. And the only one thing I found funny, because I think, again, going back to The Rock and humor, I think that one of his best movie partners has been Kevin Hart when it comes to that. The way that they're total kind of opposites, and I think that they work well together. So they're going to work once again with one another in Super Pets, where The Rock is Crypto and Kevin Hart is what's his name? The Bat Dog.
Ace the Bat Hound.
Ace the Bat Hound. Yeah, yo, that's who Kevin Hart is. So.
Yeah.
If you guys got to check out that trailer.
I saw the teaser they did a while ago for that.
Yeah. It was funny. Just the scene where he just keeps pissing on the statue of Superman and Crypto, and Crypto keeps everybody staring at him because like how much did you have to drink? Because he just kept going on like for a minute, continuously just staring down Crypto. Like, what are you gonna do?
But that's the thing. I think DC has the opportunity to do. That's where they could make their play over Marvel, is to have all these different types of projects are happening at different times that have different tones and all enjoyable.
Absolutely.
I think they just need to have someone there who's got has maybe a little bit more love for the characters than maybe previously.
Yeah. We also see what change comes when Discovery takes over. I mean, I'm sure they're going to appoint a point person.
Actually, I would like to see, because one thing we didn't mention, and they did a little tiny teaser for, was the second Aquaman film.
Oh yeah, man! Yes.
So I certainly wouldn't mind seeing Jason Momoa and Dwayne Johnson going at it.
Nice.
That'd be an awesome battle. Hell yes. You know what? Maybe that's a great way to start involving Shazam. Like, who the hell is this motherfucker after he beats down Aquaman? All right.
Cool.
It's been awesome. All right. I dug it, man. DC fandom was great. I had a blast watching it. So, good job on you, DC. And thanks for teasing us with so much wonderful entertainment that we look forward to. And let's see if we could convince homie over here on Black Adam when the full trailer's out. Can't wait.
Hey, I'm open for it.
All right, folks. So this is a brand new ICC. You know what it is. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Much love.
Bye-bye. Auf Wiedersehen.